A news came to me yesterday and I figured that you were not Kojo Forex in the beginning.
If I tell you that I saw myself settling for retail trading, that's a big lie. Retail is by accident. I've always been a professional. The moment you choose to show your lifestyle, then people, you got some ill-gotten money or what, right? Sometimes I just leave people to be stupid because some people really want to be stupid. In the midst of glaring reality, they want to be fools. Allow them some keys. If you fake it to inspire somebody, they're gonna get motivated to make it in real life while you still keep living that fake life.
Just things down. What's going on, guys? It's SamKeys here again, and today I'm live in the city of Cape Town, South Africa, with the one and only, the biggest Kojo Forex.
One day we're gonna watch this video and say that, yeah, we made it.
It's good to have you on the podcast, sir.
Good to have you, SamKeys.
Thank you so much. So on this episode of the podcast, you're going to be learning a whole lot how to start from zero and scale up to 100. Also, you're going to learn so much about the journey of Forex trading, what is true and what is not true. It's a privilege and it's a good thing to have Kojo Forex, mentor of mentors, come to tell us about the journey. So if you are new to this channel and you like to watch more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up and also comment where you're watching from. And also let us know your best comment because I'm going to be going through the video and we'll be rewarding one person with a giveaway of $100 on this episode. With all that said, guys, let's get started. So once more, it's great to have you on the podcast, sir.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us, who is Kojo Forex? Where you're from, a little about your background, the family, how many siblings you got, and the kind of upbringing that you got.
My original name is Bright Kojo Onipayede. I'm from Ghana, from a very small family of 5, including myself and my parents, my mom, my dad, 2 big sisters. The age difference, the first one is 7 years apart from me, and the second one is 4 years apart from me. The first one lives in the UK, the second one lives in Ghana, and I live in Dubai. Had a middle class upbringing. My dad is a policeman, my mom was a trader. Pretty decent home. We have troughs of livelihood. Moments where we're up high, living a good life, and moments where we have so much difficulty, and then when it comes internally to my family, looking at the extended family, we have that sect that is really well-to-do and the other sect that's in abject poverty. And I never really cherry-picked in terms of, okay, I want to only be with the rich bit of it. I used to always visit the poor side and then the rich side, while my family actually was in the middle. So I had a very good perspective of life, in all these 3 stages. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
On the way you go to a family where you have to use woods to do fire, firewood and all that. And then in my middle class, we have our gas and stuff that. All right. And I go to the upper class side, then they have a chef, there's luxury. So, experience everything in life. Then school-wise, I've always been very good academically. All right. I always say that. Maybe I was privileged by God to just give me some level of retentive memory. Okay. So background, I did business in a senior high school, Agri Memorial, one of the very good senior high schools in Ghana. Then we followed out to do accounting in the University of Ghana, which is the premier university in Ghana. And then if you attend University of Ghana and especially read accounting in business school, it's like you're in Harvard. You know what I mean? And the standard is very high. And then further on to do my MSc in financial management with Manchester University, but from a long time, I've always wanted to be in the financial sector. In fact, I really want to be an architect. I have eye for beautiful things. So great. In fact, it shows with you around here, see my choice of room, let's use and add beautiful things. Like I can't compromise on beautiful things. So I wanted to be an architect. But when you grow up from an African home, then your parent always has a way of directing the path of your journey. So they want me to do business and what especially my dad said, want me to do an accounting. I did it anyway, right? For me, I had the brains to read any program, right? Whether medicine, and at that time I felt they know much, right? And I give them a level of reverence, even though I knew what I wanted, but I'm like, for the early school years, I'm going to do what my parents want. But when I gain my own independence, I'll do what I really want. So I fell in love somehow with the business though, right? Even though it was not my initial choice. And so I decided to go full on with it. In my first year in uni, I read a professional course, which is to be a stockbroker with Ghana Stock Exchange. And that actually exposed me to the financial market locally, right? Okay. But that stock market program also introduced me to Forex trading, even though I'd also seen in those times, in this very country that we are, which is South Africa, so many viral moments where traders were doing crazy things, young guys were doing crazy things. It was a time of Sandile Shazis and someone called Koboko or something like that, right? Cash flow Kobo. They were making waves those times. And you hear Forex, these are the guys you'll be watching, and then they were driving their Lambos and Ferrari. Those were the, for me, lifestyle version of it, right? But me being an academia and also having, family that professor emeritus and whatnot, I knew that I could not just entirely just be a street guy. You got I don't know. So landed with a proper career in school. Forex was not just that lifestyle street guy. Let me just find some corner to make money. I intended to make it a career. As I started really researching who have made careers out of this that are publicly out there, only for me to realize those professionals, they don't really have social profiles, right? Instagram or they are big dogs running hedge funds, family offices, and all of that. I talk about it, Druckenmiller, George Soros, I learned a lot from those professionals, the way they look at the market. And obviously, like trading strategy-wise, you cannot get their source code. Some of the information they put out there on interviews they grant, if you're smart, you can put the dots and pieces together and know that, okay, they're working from the high time frame, they consider chart patterns, they consider candlestick formation, they consider trends, lines in the market, they consider macroeconomics and geopolitics, and once you have that summary, bro, you're good to go. That's, I would say, it's the summary of what shaped Kojo Forex that you're seeing today.
Wow, that's really, phenomenal. The right word is phenomenal, because I can see that your personality or your persona is an embodiment of three classes of humans. We have the low class, we have the mid, where you came from, and the high class. And you didn't settle for whether these are the people I'm going to relate with only, or these are the people only. You learn, it's just learning from the story of Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
Yes. And you put that together to define who you're going to be. And that shows in how you relate with people equally. That's one of the differences that I've found out with you, and part of the reasons why I esteem you to a particular level. Literally my mentor. Remember when I told you you're mentoring me on some areas as regarding the business and also the academic aspect. So it takes somebody that has experienced black and
whites, yes, including gray.
And also gray. It takes somebody that has experienced it to really find out that everybody and every class has a lesson to learn from. That's very phenomenal. So let's fast forward. Tell us a little about your Forex trading journey. What inspired you to get into Forex trading majorly? A news came to me yesterday when I was interviewing Rick, and I figured out you were not Kojo Forex in the beginning. The name of your brand, it was something else. So you tell us about that. You tell us, I got you. You tell us about that.
Do we have to really go there?
Yeah, just a little, just a touch of it. Yeah. Then you tell us what gave birth to the brand name Kojo Forex. What led you into Forex, and what year did you get started?
So for me, right, if I tell you that I saw myself settling for retail trading, that's a big lie. Retail is by accident or temporarily. I've always been a professional. You get what I mean? I said the schools that I went to, big schools, and then all my colleagues from school, 95% are working in
professional spaces.
Yes. The big fours of the auditing firms, and then the big banks, and then Wall Street firms. I literally visited London now. Was it 2 months ago? I met with a lot of my colleagues working with PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, and then they're not underdogs anymore because it's been years. Now they're the principal managers and then the top partners, managerial roles. Look at the colleagues and people are meddled with and grown up with in the same space in academic school and in the same qualification. And I didn't do any less than what they did. So what qualifies them better than me is by choice.
By choice.
I decided that I want to go this route, and they decided they want to go
that route.
I don't know if I'm making sense. I could have been anywhere that I wanted. There was nothing stopping me. Not like, okay, I didn't pass this course or I didn't read this. Some people have a funny way of just stereotyping you. The moment you're a little bit out there, you choose to show your lifestyle, then people, he got some ill-gotten money or what, right? One time, out of sheer spite, said my senior high school result or a timeline, and the people were marveled with the A's, and I saw you really smart. Did you think I was doctor? They were shocked. A's, I A's, 6 A's, and 2 B's out of 8 subjects. And then they were marveled. Bro, you got to think less of me just because I chose, but I'm saying it has always been me going to the professional route. I wanted to be on Wall Street. One of the movies that inspired me was Wolf of Wall Street. When I used to watch how they were dealing on the trading floor, I always saw myself working in those corporates, making those big mergers in the also, financial sector. That's why I started with the Dana stock. That's when I went there, it was the calmness and so dull, no activity, not hot we see in the Wall Street movies and all of that. And then the trading volume, not matured yet. Eventually we're going to mature some way, somehow. But most people don't know this, but every developed country, right, almost often have their economy linked to the growth curve of the stock exchange.
That's right.
If you talk about America, we talk about
The New York Stock Exchange.
exactly so about London, Europe. UK, United Kingdom, talking about London Stock Exchange, right?
Yes.
Now, what I mean is that if you see that there's just a positivity, good governance, employment, everything, what does it do? It reflects in the stock prices. Stocks are going high, and suddenly if you're hearing about, violence and noise of the days, exactly, you can see how tight. But in our part of the world, it's absolutely disjointed. You get me? Because there's not a lot of locals heavily invested in the market. Right? There's not been any panic situation on the Nigerian stock exchange.
No, none at all. No one even mentions it.
There's never been any panic situation on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Nobody gives a shit. So it means that economically we are not linked to the stock market in our country. So that didn't excite me enough. But then when I saw Forex Trading, which is an aspect of the financial market, and then looking at the easy barrier to entry and the decentralized nature, I said, this seems interesting. It's the same market anyways, just me reading candles and using some econometrics to determine direction of the movement. So I'm going to be interested in this one. At least it also cares my niche. Even though I wanted stocks, I was also realizing that when it comes to the Forex market, we're talking about multi-trillions, absolutely, or trading volume per day. So that inspired me. Like, I want to go into Forex now. So that's my journey into Forex.
That's very great and phenomenal. Before we get into the next question, if you guys are just joining, this is SamKeys Podcast live on YouTube. If you want to see more videos like this, give this a thumbs up and comment where you're watching from. And feel free to ask your questions, whatever you want to ask Kojo Forex, put it in the comment section. We're going to be going through it later on, and you guys are going to be getting a feedback content as time goes by. So now let's move a step forward. We have a lot of beginners coming to Forex trading with a wrong perspective, with a wrong perception about what trading really is. I know that has a lot to do with the people they saw doing it.
Yeah.
And mostly they come into trading and they feel it's something you're just going to learn how to buy and sell, how to use MetaTrader 5 and start copying signals. And the next thing you become rich in the nearest future. Or some people who get on social media platforms and they tell you this strategy is not working, you're not making money in Forex trading because you are trading like a retail trader. Rich people, they look at the long time frame, the monthly time frame, the 4-hour time frame. You need to learn how to trade the market like the institutions. Now, this is what your mentors will not teach you. But if you click the link below, you'll get my course that will teach you how to look at the market like the institutions do. And when you do a lot of background checks on these people, you barely see them upload content of them trading. So this is one of the things that have misled a lot of people in this space. So what is your contribution on that and your advice to anybody who want to start Forex trading and also those who are already trading but they want to level up in their game?
If there's any space that has a lot of charlatans and oil sellers, then it's the Forex industry. It's also one of the industries that has so many uneducated people posing themselves out as professional financial advisors. Because again, barrier to entry is non-existent. Non-existent means that you can just wake up and be a Forex trader.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to say, where's your license? Where's your this? You feel me?
I get it.
My sister who's probably selling by the roadside, I can change her name on social media to what FX, and she's your colleague. At that point, true or false?
That's right.
The more the sacrifices you have done, to probably get somebody fund her $20,000, writes gold, some random opportunity, suddenly she takes 20,000 to 100,000. She probably has a track record that half of the people in the industry will winning. You do get a question.
Right.
So it makes sieving out the right people to look up to very difficult, because anybody can wake up and be anybody at all in the market. It goes on to talk about what you're saying, where people talk about what institution this, what, and you have to be watching this time frame and the strategies or in this. None of those guys have even walked past those buildings before.
Right. I get it.
None of those guys have even seen Wall Street. None of those guys have even seen the London Stock Exchange or the financial hub, which is the Canary Wharfs, where all the big institutions are, the Citibanks, all Goldman Sachs and all of those things. So if they've not even passed by the building, talk more about having relationship with people that do the real trading. You get what I mean?
Right.
And it's not so long until you realize that when it comes to how those people look at the market, it's extremely different from what we do on the retail side. For the most part, those people don't even trade the same instrument as us. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
When I say instrument, they don't trade gold, they don't trade this instrument, but I mean the product.
The product.
In fact, the right word is the product. They don't trade the same product as us. You get me? All right. Instrument could be the same, but the product is different, right? Because there's so many classes of products in the financial market. You have the swaps, we have the interest differentials, we have the CFDs, we have the derivatives. And in fact, what we do is under derivative as an umbrella, which CFD. So there's no intrinsic value for what you're trading. It's just you trading the differences in price. Most institutions, they would rather use that as a hedge. They don't use that as their main source of income. Right. Do you get what I mean? Yes. In fact, let's say they're trying to do a merger and acquisition with one company in Japan or in China or whatever it is, right? And then they anticipate that there's going to be exchange rate risk, right? They can tell for that risk by using derivative instruments, which could be a futures or a forward or a CFD. You get what I mean?
Yes.
That CFD could be in pound, dollar, gold, depending on the situation they're trying to curtail. You get what I mean? Now, when it comes to side, we only have access to a CFD product, which is mostly provided by brokerage industries. And those retail brokers, they're very different from institutional brokers.
Absolutely.
Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
You can wake up and become a retail broker.
That's right.
You know why? Because the platform is a mimicking platform. The platforms that we use as retail, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, and CTrader. You can create your own trading platform, match traders in the heat of all these profit waves. You see how so many platforms suddenly started springing. People were taking advantage of the hype. Market share had extremely dominant by MetaTrader 4 and 5. So suddenly,
the problems came out.
Not profit per se. People started also springing up their trading platforms. We have the Sirexes.
Yes.
So many of them you probably have not even heard and have not even heard.
I was even surprised to hear a lot of new ones, especially the ones that were affiliated with these prop firms. Many of them were not licensed by MT5. So they started looking for other platforms they could.
Exactly. And then create their own trading platform as well, And see, what it just takes you to create a trading platform, SamKeys, do you have an idea?
Not at all.
What it just requires is to have a package from a data feed service provider. And those people, they have so many classes of instruments they can provide you data feed. And look, where do they get the data feed? They get the data feed from the institutions. Basically all the big names that we know. And they have it as a package. Now, when you subscribe to those packages, right, you and your developer team are not going to truncate those price movements you're getting because it's real time.
Yes.
Into candles and then putting it on a flashy platform. Then you have a trading platform. The mice traders and all of those things. That's why depending on where somebody is getting their data feed from, they would have a small margin of difference in price.
That's true. You see those differences amongst various brokers. You see the price of gold right now at Orlando is different from the price on maybe XNES or different from another X on the same trading.
Exactly. You get what I mean? Because that's just how it is done. If I wanted to create a trading platform today, I'd create it. You get what I mean? So what I'm saying is that if you look at how institutions look at things and if you look at what retail traders do, we're very funny, right? But at the same time, we're not entirely funny as well, though. There's a balance, right? Because as retail traders, we're so focused on thinking that technicals is our holy grail, right? And so we put so much effort, right? And in fact, the more we put so much effort, it's something that George Soros would call the theory of reflexivity, right? Such that the cause and effect eventually start to show evidence in the sense that retail traders' participation in using technicals, in fact, some institutions also use technicals, extreme technical, right, has made the fact that you cannot overturn the relevance of technicals, but you're not going to get any institutional desk looking on that block and what for resistance and what you get what I mean, right? Support and resistance have been around for a long time. Some do look for it though, but I'm talking about the new ones, the new terms that you have some fair value, decency, none of that exists,
right?
And I'm saying this from an authoritative point, not a hearsay.
Yes,
I said I have friends who work in these institutions. You get what I mean?
Right.
I have friends who run hedge funds. I have friends who run investment banks. Friends who are key players in investment. We sit down and look at their platforms. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Some people here, they've been watching trading and coming, they've never even had a glimpse of what Bloomberg terminal looks like. Some people think like, oh, if you're trading, you have to use Bloomberg terminal. It's one of the platforms for institutions, but doesn't mean that it's the ultimate answer. We have the routers, right? They are also like a whole terminal on their own. People from London will be more veered towards routers and its platform, right? And the people from US is more geared towards Bloomberg. Okay. You cannot get access to Bloomberg just because you wanted to subscribe. You have to be an institution. You get me? Or a corporate body, right? A company that has some level of, relevance to accessing the platform. Your business nature should coincide, not just because you want to. And that's what makes those things niche-based. And the subscription for that alone is about $2,500 a month, and that's on a single desk. Single desk means that you can access it on only one laptop. If you have multiple, then
subscribe on every one of them.
Exactly. So we're not talking about lower grade information, but getting access into there, you're going to realize that is an information overload for a retail trader who is trading on a CFD. The instrument there is not CFD.
Yes, right.
It's crazy.
That's true.
Forward, future, swaps. I can't mention all of them. I can't mention all of them. If I even attempt, I'll veer off. It's a lot. And also, it's not so long for you to also realize that when you go on the back end, you're not going to just click on the buy and sell like a broker and then it's...
Yeah, I think, yes, you take profit.
No, you lock in transactions and back office settles it. That's how transactions run there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, I'm working for, let's say, Kojo Forex institution. You're working with SamKeys Forex institution, right? What happens in Bloomberg is that it's a negotiation in prices, and these are the platform that influence the price movement of the financial market. Because as I hear, I need runs. You have runs. I put in my order on the platform that I want to buy, obviously doing it reasonably, because we would have the general market price for runs versus, let's say, dollars. Trading at $1 is equivalent to 16 rand. And I say, because I am trying to buy a lot of runs and I'm trying to get a better pricing.
Right.
So instead of buying it at 116, then I say I'm going to buy for maybe 15.5. You get what I mean? That the market is trading at 16.
Yes.
Right. And then the one who is on the other side of the transaction will say, oh no, 15.5 is too low, so I'll do 15.75. And if we agree that, okay, 15.75, we lock in there in the platform. This is how Bloomberg goes.
Yes.
We lock in there, then our back office, who are our admins, they do the bank transfer transaction, physical movement of money. So it's not CFD.
It's very different, man.
You get
No leverage.
This is raw. Exactly. So that is one aspect of a product they trade. But this thing that I just said, it could be that financial firm, right, which is the investment bank, locking in this transaction in favor of a client. Normally, they even do less of their own transaction and more from a client aspect. They could be investing for the client, or they could be running a transaction. They run a transaction like maybe you, the client, is the one that needed a rand for something, maybe paying your offshore business associate or whatever it is. But I am your investment banker. So I'll do that transaction for you. My interest is the commission I'm going to get from that transaction, from also getting a good pricing for you. Or maybe you want some investment in some stocks and bonds, government treasuries, or whatever it is. So you can't invest in that foreign country with your local Nigerian naira. So I'll run that transaction for you for better pricing in dollars for you to buy that stock product in Japan. But I am your investment banker, broker. You get what I mean? So they are more interested in commissions and all of those things, and then measures and acquisitions, than practically sitting down to chase the price market movement and taking the differential. But they have a sector. They have a trader team whose also objective is to speculate as well.
Okay.
Among all that I said, see if they don't have a trader there that speculate. They have those that speculate, but their main business is the speculative industry. And even in the speculation, they do it from the liquid transaction done like the CFD. Why I was saying all of this is that, like I said, I have friends who work with hedge funds and run hedge funds. Most of them are reliant extremely on technicals, right? Okay. So when we get together, right, I remember going to Ireland, right, meeting one of my friends. She used to work with BNP Paribas and hold plans in Europe. Now she left there after reaching heights and started her own hedge fund. We're talking and she see me with candles and all of that. And she's like, why do I have so much confidence in these lines that are foreign? Because she's so reliant on macros. You get what I mean? Watching interest rates, watching inflation, watching this geopolitics and connecting the dots, and doing medium to long term trades. And I'm just there looking good and the wicks. You get what I mean? But let me buy here, let me do this. It does work for us. We pay differences. We do make profit, right? Now, I'd had to teach her my technicals because I reckon that she was letting money off on the table. You're stuck up there waiting for a long time when you could just come a little lower to take advantage of intermittent price movement. You're not necessarily scalping, right? You know what I mean? But a little bit of swings. If you trade in between intraday swing, you get what I mean? Or position trading and a swing. You get what I mean? Right. Not rather than just getting so stuck up there. And she was surprised when I explained the strategy from a logical perspective, not just theory. Okay, you ask somebody, why do you think the market should come to the fair value? Because it must come there. Now, why must it come there? Why must it come there? What is the reasoning behind it? Why do? You get what I mean? If you're not able to answer all the whys in your strategies, then you're just following some mirage. You get what I mean?
Right.
And make sure to make sense of everything that I do. That's why when people join my trading, now I don't remember the last time I had any mentorship session.
Right.
Like, you're going to be overwhelmed because you ask the tiny bit of thing, there is a solid explanation for why it is so, why it makes sense. It's like me asking you, why must 1 + 1 be 2? It must be 2. Would it be anything else? And you say, okay, why must 1 + 1 be 2? And say, that's how we met it. Now, I don't know if you don't understand. You see, there's two different differences. Because the first one is like, we have logical display of why it must be 2, backed by common sense. And the second one is just like opinion based. Okay, and I saw it this way. This is what the mentor says. So this, and oh, keep watching it. One day your eyes is going to be the one that, but I know that's a lie. Keep watching it. One day your eyes will open. I practiced it for years and it started making sense. Meanwhile, you're not giving the person the reason why it should make sense. So bringing that topic in broad, like, but we're far from getting that part. Please,
It's just like you open my brain up and you start putting information. Now, literally, at this point, I'm seeing reasons to even study more in finance. And that takes me to my next question.
Yeah.
Many people think Forex trading is what you do when education has failed. For example, people go to the university now, they feel like, they are not serious. They say school is scams. Especially a lot of people in South Africa, those younger boys, super generations, many of them didn't take education seriously. They be like, oh, I found something that gives me money.
Yep.
I believe that there's something more than making money from the charts or making money from trading.
Yeah.
I believe that we were born to become much more than that. And for us to become the highest level of beings that we are born to be in, it's important that we take advantage of every opportunity to learn from the educational sector. So my question here is, what's your best advice to anyone who wants to balance education and Forex trading?
Right. So see, this question that you asked, let me let you understand it from the bigger picture. CFD, which is Forex trading, at the level at which retail trading do it, where we do it, right, is presented from a gambling perspective. Like, it's similar to what you do with a betting, because it's like no intrinsic value. You just put your hard-earned money, and you're seeing the money reflected there, and then you're buying. You say, I just bought GBP, I just bought this. Where is it? Nothing does this, right? It's just like betting. Right. I support Manchester. I support Chelsea. How did you support them? It's just like in the air. The only way one is able to differentiate themselves is that even in the midst of seeing that this is how it is presented, you take yourself to how an institution would work their way through it. What I mean is that if you've ever traded physical rands or dollars or pounds, exchange, Forex, Bureau exchange, you get what I mean? Now, why I'm saying this is that there was a point where when I was building my second house, then Ghana cedis had insane fluctuations, right? One day you wake up, the cedi to dollar rate is $1 is equivalent to 6 cedis. The next week you wake up, $1 is equivalent to 9 cedis. The next week you wake up is back to 7 cedis. The next week you wake up is 10 cedis, 11 cedis. I think Nigeria also experienced. Yes, Nigeria has very great situations, right? Now imagine that SamKeys, you have $1 million to build a house like what we see in Camps Bay, one of those beautiful mansions. You have $1 million to execute, right? But now you're not going to build a house in $1 million. You're going to build it in $1 million equivalent in Naira, because you're buying your products and materials and everything and paying your workers and laborers in Naira. Imagine that you did a budget, $1 equivalent to 1,000 Naira, which means that you have billion. Exactly. Now, this comes with inflation, because every economy has a way, inflation has a way of driving its movement with exchange rates. By the way, some of them, they are closely tied. Some of them, they are delayed. What I mean by tied and delayed is that when exchange rate moves from $1 to 10 cedis to $1 to, let's say, 30 cedis, every price in the country will change. Yes. Everybody will increase their prices, right? Immediately. What I mean is that at that point, it makes up for it. You get me? Yes. Which is when you're holding the dollar and you're doing the transaction. Because for a cement that was costing, let's say, 100 cedis, will now cost maybe 100 cedis. So the exchange rate, which has increased, make up for the differences. So you'll not be at a loss. You get me? Right. An economy where they are not closely tied, when it happens like that and then the local prices are not changing as fast as the exchange rate, then you, the developer, or whoever who is holding the international currency, you're at an advantage. Because now you're going to still get higher value in terms of exchange, but lower price, because price has not caught up. Yeah. But all of this, you must manage it while you're having those transactions, right? That is where you display your skills of a trader. That's right. You have to literally go and open Nigerian exchange rates versus the dollar, and use the candles to speculate. Absolutely. That's where you use the wick effect, charts, the zones, the psychological levels. You get what I mean? Yes. And I did that. There was no moment where I felt like a real trader than those moments, because I knew when to hold my dollars and when to liquidate them into cedis.
That was Forex Trading in real life.
So when we finished that, I had a lot of money still reserved
Wow.
to buy cars and travel. But if I was following the panics, because when those things happen, people have crazy panic. Go and sell your dollars. The government says that next week it's going to come to 5. Maybe the dollars are 17. Then get a panic and then you sell, right? You sell, then suddenly next week it's at 23. You've lost. I'm doing this thing I'm doing in real life right now. Have a segregated account for CDs and have a segregated account for dollars. Sometimes situation demand me to even change the CDs into dollars. And sometimes situation demand me to quickly go and change them into CDs. And I do the same transaction even in crypto. This is trading. Trading is not just about watching charts and all of that. It's all these things that we do. So now, when you are having these experiences and then you're also transforming it into what we do on the candle, then you don't only look at the candle from a figurative point. You look at it from a transaction point. Like, even though I'm just buying here, I'm assuming that indeed I'm living in the UK and then the economy is looking this way and then things are not going well and then news of people starving and then the central bank is not performing, meeting their targets, the parliamentary levels are not performing. You watch all of those funny things. Okay, then I assume that UK will be having a weak economy. But you watch it in relation to the candles and the technicals or whatever it is, and then you trade. You are not just randomly trading CFD like a betting guy.
That's right.
You get me? At that point, you're not just trading CFD like a guy who's just looking, oh, it's going up, you're gonna let me sell. You get what I mean? You're making a career. In relation to the example you mentioned, all these young guys, they are like junior high school, senior high school guys. You're just inspired by, so then download, all you have to do, download MT5, you put $50 in and buy. It's only when they are very serious, exposed, educated, strive high to that level, that they come and see the scope of what it is. Then they can create a career out of it. Creating a career is an entirely different topic altogether.
Wow.
But yeah,
Guys, watch out for that topic, creating a career in the finance space here. All right, that's interesting. It's been quite an expository session, guys, and I've literally learned a whole lot. So I'm going to leave you with just one more category in this podcast, and that takes us to the controversial side.
Yeah.
A lot of controversies out there. Twitter Spaces,
Yeah.
Instagram, YouTube, and so on. How do you manage these controversies, and how do you manage the lifestyle?
Yeah.
We talked about lifestyle earlier. There are a lot of people, they sell you lifestyle and you check in further and that's not the real thing. So how do you manage the controversies?
There was this quote that I wanted to tweet today, actually. By bringing this up, then I'm going to make it here first. Because I was pondering over life and so many things that are happening in my life. And I'm saying that if you fake it to inspire somebody, they're going to make it in real life while you're still living the fake life. Did you get it?
Just things down. That is a Josh Tufani's voice.
If you fake it to inspire somebody, they're going to get motivated to make it in real life while you still keep living that fake life. Do you get it? Yeah, that's in the industry. You're going out there to rent the Lambo and then doing this and putting on social. You don't even have that financial plan to actually make it a reality. Yes, you're inspiring the young guy who probably take his $10,000 and going hard with some 100,000 lots and then suddenly has that money to actually go and buy that Lambo. While you, who is there calling yourself that mentor, is still renting.
Wow.
And I'm talking about somebody who fucking knows himself.
Right.
That's what happens in the industry. So me, realizing this, I'm like, I'm going to live in my reality. I'm not going to make a make-believe. If you see me in my Cybertruck, I fucking own my Cybertruck. Right. See me in my Lamborghini, I own it.
You own it.
If I see you driving a Bugatti, you're inspiring to make it my reality. I don't care about you renting it.
Right.
You go keep renting it. Or keep living in rented apartment and saying it is yours.
Oh, it's yours.
I don't give a shit.
You're right.
But I'm going to tap in that inspiration. Go and stand by some fucking land and real estate that belongs to your uncle and say, it is mine, guys. Pick the inspiration out of it and put it to work. And the next 1 year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, you're going to see me manifesting it in real.
Real.
And you will still be there. Can you compare yourself to me?
No.
That's what happens in this industry. All these guys, I'm going to buy you and buy this and then 20 million this. Bro,
That's deep. That's real.
lies on lies on lies upon lies, heavy lies. Sometimes, I just leave people to be stupid because some people really want to be stupid. Cannot save the pig. Bat it, clean it, because the pig, it's physical DNA. You can't change it.
Yeah.
It's to play in debt.
That's right.
So some people, their DNA is to be fools. No matter how you're putting wisdom in their head, they want to be fools. Allow them some keys. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
In the midst of glaring reality, they want to stay blind to it and then believe that what does not exist. You're not the one to save them. You can't save anybody.
Absolutely.
You get me? So there was that point in my life where I used to feel like I could heal people of some reality. That's why you see me jump on live sessions.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this doesn't make sense. Like, are you dumb? Are we all not having brains in our head? You know, then it becomes you becoming a hater. Or you say it's not possible in world. What do you mean it's not possible? If it was a white man that did it, you say it's possible. Which white man did it in that level of scenario you're putting? That you can point to and say, I believe this one, but why am I not believing the other one? We don't even have that white charlatans again. You get it? Excuse my life, not even being racist or sexist, understand it is. Who can you point in that niche of a white guy that say, guys, I just put 500 billion stop loss? Like, I mean, in race.
You can't.
But why our people? Because you still have some of us living under rocks. And that was how slavery came about.
Right.
Slavery has gone from race to we enslaving our own people. I should tell people that when we talk about even slavery, I don't want to blame the white man, because the black man sold the black man to the white
man. That's right.
and the black man is still selling the black man resources. Oh, you don't get what I mean?
I get it, sir.
Black man eventually is his own enemy. When they say black man is his own enemy, this is what we mean. So like I said, SamKeys, when it comes to me now, I let people do your thing. You get what I mean? You know, nemesis will catch up with us all. There's something I say in my glam. They say, oh, my mew. Now, so my mean, we are PTA meeting. What it means is that when mom is dead and you say your mom is not dead, it's going to be time for PTA meeting. It's not proven, which means that imagine you're in school with your colleagues and your
PTA, she can show up.
and now everybody's parent comes to say, oh, it's just a guardian or it's the auntie. Or when the mother is just passed by, PTA revealed what you were hiding. What I mean is that time will catch up with everybody that is faking it. There used to be guys who used to banter with me when they were living abroad because they were schooling abroad and had access to good roads and could rent cars when I was still living in Ghana. You get what I mean?
Right.
Even though I used to travel a bit here and there, but I was properly domiciled in Ghana. And they'll banter with me, like, you didn't have this. I'm telling them, look, young man, you're going to be done with school. And when you're done with school, you're going to come back home. And you're going to have access to that thing near you're there flexing. That is nemesis catching up with you. You can be there and say, I have these 20,000 houses and what. When you come down, when face meets boots, guess what? I don't go back to fight then. Then I just let it die out. And that really, suddenly, you know.
So let's go to collaboration versus competition. What's your take on that?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, both. You need collaboration to expand. You need competition for motivation, you know.
Guys, did you hear that? Very simple answer. Collaboration to expand, competition for motivation. Let's just leave it at that because it says it all.
Yeah.
It says it all. Now, you've been trading for about 13 years. You've been into the finance space for 13 years. What is one thing that you would like to correct if you were to go back to the beginning when you started?
Honestly, I won't change anything. I'm loving my journey. Wow, everything that I put together has made me today, and has taught me a lot. It's still teaching me a lot.
Right.
My life depends on every experience that I had. There's nothing I'll change. From friends, to business, to money management, to savings, to travel, to exploration, to risk taking, to risk averse, to money, everything.
That's awesome. So finally, we just one area that I'm interested in. How do you balance your work, which is being a professional forex trader and investor, and also balancing that with family? Congratulations on your baby and your wife, all that. So, because like I say, you're a source of inspiration to a lot of us, especially Africans, West Africa.
Yeah.
Many people making money, no one wants to settle down.
Yeah.
But you giving us that traditional thing.
Yeah.
You didn't come from a broken family and you wouldn't want to create a broken one. So how do you balance that? And
for the most people that doesn't want to settle down, SamKeys, let's not say it's by choice. Like resources. All this your mentors. Some are still living in red tech spaces. Forget it. Like, this was where they show you things. Bro, they don't get,
oh my God.
And they parade for, you get smart, they come Dubai, come Brighton. Bro, they're still living in, Airbnbs and apartments and hopping and patching. We have guys who've been in Dubai years before we came there, and they've never shown you their house. And they're always parading us. So I don't show off, I don't do this. Bro, we're not saying show off. Do you live on a tree? No. So at least let us see. Always have curtains behind you with something. Yeah, $20 billion and this, but no. Like, let us feel your environment. Let us. Instead, I'm saying, we'll go stand somewhere and take videos and say, yeah, this is my, I get it. But it's only, it doesn't cost much to be real. You talked about my name that I used to, in high school, they used to call me Sissoko. And then at one point, then became the real, because I'm so much of a realist. I don't like make believe. If it's possible, it's possible. If it's not possible, let me not just daydream about it. Some people love just living in a mirage. Some people just love living in fantasy. Give you a max, right? And it's so funny. SamKeys. See, yes, you could be throwing out nonsense numbers to prove a point that you are the biggest and this and that. Yeah, social media is going to accept it. Maybe you're using that in quote unquote as a fuel for marketing or whatever it is, right? But let's say whatever your marketing costs $100, right? You're saying that, I just bought this yacht, I'm going to buy this next week, you know what I mean? And I'm building this year, right? And then after that you say, okay, I'm organizing these classes next week, guys. You got what I mean? Which is okay, right? It's okay. But now you're mentioning what? Multi-centimillions, like the hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Like $50 million, $100 million, $300 million, $500 million, whatever $million, right? But now everybody's, you are the guy. Now suddenly like, okay, guys, then next week you got to acquire this course. Cool. You managed to fool the people. It's okay. Did it. We love it. Now give me a number. How many people out of the fools, quote unquote, will pay?
Those that will fall for it.
Yes.
Yeah. Literally less than 1,000.
Let's increase it, but let's make the person excited. We know that probably not even be $500.
So yeah. Let's just say maybe 5K.
5,000 now by 100.
By 100.
Yeah.
That's 500,000.
Bro, 500,000 is cool money, but now divide 500,000, right, by let's say 100 million.
The margin is too much, bro. It's way too much. 0.005.
That means that even that lifestyle you portray, this money that you made can never even let you experience 0.005 of it. Do you get me though?
Yes.
Do you really get me?
Yes, I get it.
Yes, you may have said that 500,000, but you cannot even enjoy that lifestyle you portray. 5% of it. That is what it means. So this 500,000 can get you to maybe rent another place for another 1 year, or maybe, buy some mid-range car, you get me?
Yeah.
Then refuel the foolishness again. So when will it make it a reality for you to even make $10 million? To talk of $50 million, to talk of $100 million, you will live in a mirage for life.
Wow. That's deep. So for those of you who want to talk about family, according to what he said, literally it's not a thing of choice. It's all about being ready.
Absolutely.
Just be ready for it. Financially,
absolutely.
You have the space. It doesn't really take so much. You find a fan girl, you're good as a man, or maybe as a woman, definitely. It's harder for the ladies anyways. We find a man, you find a way, you start off that life. You shouldn't say, hey, I have a lot of money and a lot of girls. They are fake girls. They are awesome. Literally, I've learned that it's only men that love.
Yeah.
You get me? Yeah. Like they love unconditionally. Women, they want to make sure that you've got something to bring at the table first before they give you that part. They give that
statement. I'll leave you with that. Once you're just at this. Love finds its most natural and spontaneous expression in giving. Man who has nothing to give has no love to show.
Yes, that's right. That is from The Science of Getting Rich. I'm reading, right? Thank you, sir. Then there's one that I want to ask. What gave birth to the name Kojo Forex from, what do you call it? What gave birth to the name Kojo Forex? Why Kojo Forex and not the other one?
It gets to a point where you start thinking about your brand for a long term. I know now you run around with SamKeys, but between me and you, if you go mention our name anywhere, everybody will know what I do, and it'll be difficult for them to know what you do.
That's right.
You'd struggle with your brand. That's right. To certify itself without people associating any guessworks. It's unfortunate I'm using you for that.
Yes, but the reason I'm asking is this literally because I've been doing a lot of studies and I've been thinking. You understand,
so I needed some professional touch and then indigenous feel to it. Yeah, right. And Kojo is a Monday born in Ghana. For a Monday born in Ghana, Kojo, right? Ghana, that's my own Ghanaian name. I had a neighbor in my compound there in Nigeria. She gave me a Ghanaian name. It's Kofi because I was born on Friday. Exactly. So imagine like Kofi and then you trade the Kojo Forex. Kojo Forex might not be so smooth on people's.
Yeah.
So if I was called Kofi, I might have changed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then Kojo Forex, it was pretty smooth on the tongue. I have people who got inspired by Kojo Forex and then they are called Kwesi or Kweku. Adding Forex, right? It doesn't really always sound smooth on the tongue. Yeah. It's their choice anyway.
Okay.
Sometimes all of smoothness on the tongue is perception-wise. Absolutely. If you hear names like Mitsubishi, who says Mitsubishi is smooth on the tongue? Something you mentioned for so long.
You used to it.
And someone say Innocent, the name is still nice.
Right.
Because you're thinking of it from a local company, but Innocent keeps up ringing it in your ear. You hear it and suddenly you love it. You get what I mean? So Name choice, it was a study on its own personally, and I got that from a book I read 15, 16 years ago, Branding 101. It was forwarded by Donald Trump. Proper book if you want to understand branding. So then I coined the Kojo Forex, right? But I don't take the credit for it entirely, because then I was living with one friend called Richard. Shout out to him wherever he is. I was exploring options for him, like, what should I do? I want to change my brand and then have a synchronized name across all socials. I don't have to go FX here and you see it. So I scored here. I wanted a straightforward, simple name, And then he said, Kojo Forex. And then we started mentioning that day. That day I just said, keep calling me Kojo Forex. I want to see how it just sounds in my ears. They called me that for about 2 days, 3 days. I'm like, okay, I love this. Now I went to change all my socials and everything to put it in. I've never looked back.
Now I've gotten inspirations. You will see what happens next. So thank you so much, guys. If this podcast has been very valuable to you, let's see it on the comments, guys. I'm very, 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 very grateful to have you guys watch this point, and also to have the one and only Kojo Forex on the podcast. So guys, this is where we're going to draw the curtain for today. Until I see you next time. My name is SamKeys. Maybe next time you see me, it could be Sam Forex.
Let's have it.
SamKeys Forex. I've literally been thinking about that because we're going full force now into the Forex trading thing. So till I come your way next time, my name still is SamKeys, and I'm always here to help. Bye for now. Take care.